it is a good practice to just wipe down the board with some alcohol if you have it. So I just have these little alcohol swab things, but if you just have normal rubbing alcohol, it just takes to make sure there's no film or anything on the board, okay? And it dries very, very fast. This is the vinyl I'm going to be using for this. You would do this same technique with any vinyl. This is vinyl 1518. We got our squeegee. I got a bottle of, just a small bottle of water and a paper towel. We're just going to quickly wet the board lightly. So I just spray a little bit on. And this is done to help with the vinyl in case you have to move it. So if you try to move it without water, you're going to run into issues because this is a UV outdoor calendared vinyl. So it's very, very sticky. It is water soluble. So after about 24 hours, it will be cured and stuck to your board. You still can decorate around it before it's cured. It won't come off. It won't move or anything else. Okay. So what you're going to do is lift it up, pull the vinyl off, and as you can see, it's a big sticker. And I just kind of eyeball it because this is straight down is the center. Even if you want to use your cutting mat, if you have one, you can see the line. Use one line and see it running down your center rows here so you know your board center. And then I just eyeball the vinyl to make sure it's straight. And that's why I like to use water. In case it isn't, I will be able to move it. So that's a little bit crooked. So see how I can remove it off a lot easier. Much better. Okay, so I have it sent. Oh, I have to move it down. So we want, it's a little close to this hole here. We can still move it again. I just want to move it down because we want to, there we go. There, perfect. You just want to make sure the inside holes are exposed because we're going to use those to decorate. Then I'm going to take a paper towel in my plastic Unique in the Creek squeegee. And this is just to save the felt because we're going to, when we start squeegeeing, your water is going to come out. Okay, so that's why I put paper towel to collect the water. You're going to start from the center and just push your way out. I have my squeegee at a 45-degree angle. Start and just go around the vinyl. And you'll see water starting to come, like squirting out. Your air bubbles coming out. So I go around a few times. All right, and now I'm just going to dry it up. And then I'm going to go around again with just the felt part because you'll get a nice adhesion to the board. And there we go. Now your sign and your wreath frame are all one piece. That's fairly inexpensive, very durable, and very high hiding. Okay, so it makes it for this petal to be perfect. So it's quite easy to do this petal. Okay, so we have this 6-inch burlap. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll out our burlap and we're going to cut it at the 10-inch mark. Okay, so we're going to cut a piece 6 by 10, almost like we did yesterday with the actual mesh. So I'm just aligning and squaring up my burlap, so making sure the bottom is running along and then the side. And then I'm going to cut it at the 10-inch. Okay? We'll do another one. Now, the one I'm going to show you on the character board that I'm doing absolutely can be done with deco mesh like I did yesterday. I just didn't want to do the same one today, showing you guys the character board, doing it when I had some burlap here. So you guys may have some burlap in your stash. Okay, so we got our burlap. I'm going to use our little 4-inch zip ties again, just to hold it as a stopper. Okay. Now we're not using mesh, so you can see the edges at the top and bottom are already factory, so we don't have to fold it in like we did the deco mesh yesterday or the poly burlap yesterday. Okay, so we don't have to do that 1/2-inch fold, but we do want to find the center of this piece. So you could either, if you have a cutting mat, just put your finger on the 5-inch, or just fold it in half and make a crease and open it up, and you should see your crease. Take my little zip tie out. All right, and then what we're going to do is this is going to go right down the center. This side is going to go right down the center. Okay, so we're making that triangle again. Then I'm going to flip it over. Make sure my tip is nice. Line up these edges. Okay, grab the bottom crease there. Now, you may want to make a nice crease because you'll see with the petals, you can kind of see the crease really well in the burlap. All right, so then I'm going to keep this holding on to the center. Okay, so we flipped it over. Hold on to the center, open it up. Okay, and we're going to grab about 1 inch to the center and give it a good crease so you can see it in the burlap. And then we're going to take the edge here and bring it to the center. So I'm kind of folding the edge here while I'm sliding it to the center. We'll do this a few times. Then for burlap, I like to just flip it around because then I can grab, I'm right-handed, I get a better crease by flipping it around. I don't know why. And then bring it into the center again. Okay, and you can manipulate it, give it a little tug at the top. We're going to put a little zip tie around the bottom, keep it hold in place. Okay, and there we go. So it's about 5 inches again where the zip tie. So there is our petal, and there is the inside. So you can use either side if you want. That's the inner part. That's the outer part. Okay, and then I'm going to just trim off that little bit of burlap. So we'll do it again. Hello everybody, welcome, welcome. Thank you for watching. This is just going to be a quick one. Okay, 6-inch burlap, cut at 10. I'm just going to find my middle. Okay. Open it up. There's my middle, or like I said, you can just put your finger on the 5-inch there. Take the corner here, bring it straight down the middle. Take the top, bring it straight down the middle. Okay, we're going to flip it over. The edges should line up perfectly, which they do. Okay, then I'm going to grab this bottom corner, open it up, pinch, 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 pinch. And wrap a little zip tie. Now you can use the rubber bands too, Like I said, I like to use the little zip ties these days because it's just another security so that the petals don't come out. That's all. And we'll trim this up. Started a wreath using the character board. So the character board is the solid in the center. This particular vinyl is 1518. We have over 1,000 different vinyls that you can use. For the center, it makes your sign and your wreath frame all one piece. Now, I'll show you my pattern that I did. We'll flip it over. What you don't have to do with the burlap, because it is high hiding, what I did is a pattern. I did 3 pieces or 3 petals, 2 petals, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, just to give it a little bit of dimension so that top center petal kind of sticks out a little bit, and it gives that little bit of 3D dimension on it. So you can either, if you want to use just one roll of burlap, you would do only 2, and I'm going to do the 2 right now. You would only do 2 petals for every row. If you want to give it, a little bit more fullness and want to do the 3, you're going to need just a little over 1 roll of burlap, okay? So first one we're going to do is hole 1 to the outside of the board, and we're going to do this up. So this is just for the 2, and then hole 1.5 to hole 2, go down and back up, close it up till you hear a zip, okay? And that's preloaded. The next one has 3, so I'm going to go hole 1 to the outside of the board, hole 1 to 1.5, and hole 1.5 to 2. Okay, and then the next row will just be 2 of them. So you can see 3, 2, 3, 2. So you can see your pattern on the back to make sure you didn't miss any or anything, okay? And then once you have your petals made, you just kind of pop them in. So I'm starting, I'll start on the outside here. As you can see, they're going all the same way. And then once we get them all on, we'll just kind of move the outside ones more to the outside, and we can move these inside ones in a bit. Okay, so we're gonna just put your tail of your petal into your zip tie just past the little stopper one I put on, and do it up. And this one's only getting 2 pieces. So you can see how when it layers, I'm not sure. When it layers, if you don't use the 3rd piece, you should be okay. This one, I'm just going to pull in a little past that stopper zip tie because it needs to be just a little bit shorter because it's the inner circumference. Okay, and there's our 2. All right, and then the next one is 3, so I'm going to do the inner. Again, I'm bringing it a little bit shorter. And then we're going to do the outside. And then the center one will be last, so it'll kind of be sticking up. There's that center one, and then you're going to clip the zip ties off. Okay, and now we're on our last row, which is 2. So just lift that up and slide your petal in. And do it up. And then the outside one. And of course you can do this exact same like I did yesterday on the ring board with mesh if you wanted. I just wanted to show you on the character board how you can do a sign with these petals using a character board. And there we're done. And then I'm going to put, I have this, just this black 1.5 inch ribbon. I'm just going to put a simple bow like right there. So now we're just going to kind of move around our petals. Make sure the center ones are centered. And there we go. That's really pretty. Now, if I had like, I guess I could have put just green, like a green ribbon there. This petal is very large. Let's put a hanger on it. So I'm going to take the back. There's the 2 holes. Let's go down. And again, we have thousands of, my hand just cramped, vinyls that you can choose from. So fall, Christmas, winter, all kinds. And keep it simple. Simple and clean. That's what this wreath is. Simple and clean. All right, so we have a hanger. And I'm just going to make a simple bow with this black ribbon. So I'm going to cut my tail 20 inches. I'm going to cut another 20 inches. Yeah, the new petal, it's a good, like I said, it's a good filler petal. Or a petal if you don't need to, you know, if you just want it to show like I did yesterday. So very clean looking. All right, so I just took my 20-inch, one of the 20-inch pieces, folded it in half so I could see the center, and I'm going to go about 2 inches past the center. Again, 2 inches past the center. Take this 20-inch piece. We're going to dovetail the end. Keeping it very simple. Okay, how big is this bow? It is 8 inches. I'll slip a zip tie or a pipe cleaner under there at 4. And of course you can add greenery and stuff within the petals if you want. It's totally up to you. Okay, just very, very simple. And I like to put it over here, so I'm going to go through the petals here if I can. There it is. Poking the pipe cleaner right through the burlap. My hands are cramping up today, I don't know why. Now you could leave it without a bow, but we're just going to add this simple bow. Pull it in the back, tighten pipe cleaner. And there we go. Super cute. Easy to do and inexpensive. Isn't it cute? So there it is. Oh, I gotta fix the back, of course, because I just fluffed my bow. So we want to make sure everything's nice and neat on the back. You're gonna put your sticker, your business card on the back. There we go. Nice and clean. Fluff up our bow again. You can make your bows bigger or smaller. You don't even have to add a bow. I just wanted to keep it simple. Right? And there we go. Red with a vinyl simple bow on the character board using 6-inch burlap. If you do have 6-inch mesh, yes, you can do it with 6-inch mesh too. Just if it's dollar store mesh, don't even try it. It's just going to fall apart. But some places do sell a 6-inch mesh online, like Craft Outlet. I'm not sure if they still have any. But if it's a better quality 6-inch mesh, you can do it exactly like I just did with the burlap. Okay, and that's it. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.